Hey everyone, I am so grateful to be here with you. I'm Jamie Dawn, evolutionary, revolutionary astrologer, and I'm going to give you a little update as far as what you can expect. But before I jump into what to expect for this week into the following week, we are in the very beginning of Thanksgiving week here in the United States. And I just wanted to take a moment and share a little gratitude and a whole lot of heart for each and every one of you. So, first of all, thank you, truly. Thank you for being here, for trusting me, for showing up with depth, curiosity, courage. Every session, every conversation, every moment that we spend together reminds me why I love this work so much and why I appreciate you. You allow me to witness your growth, and I grow right along next to you, your humanness. I get to celebrate being human right along next to you. Breakthroughs that you have. I don't take this work and this gift that you give me ever. I don't take it lightly. And, speaking of the humanness, I've been reflecting lately on how beautiful we are. We are perfectly imperfect humans, as you've heard me say many times. And as imperfect as this life is and how imperfect we are, I hope you can feel the spaciousness to bring your whole self to our work together, not the airbrush polished, I have it all figured out, I've got my life together, but that real version of yourself. Every tear we shed, every laughter that we share, it's real and it's raw and it's beautiful. And, you know, one who's learning, who's unraveling, some of us feel like our nerves are standing on the outside of our skin. We're healing, we're surprising ourselves, maybe tripping over our own self, our own expectations, right? But we still show up. And I honor that. I honor you. And I believe that it's important for us not to give up. And this isn't about false hope. This is about us being able to really stand up in the middle of the fire, know that we've got the tools, know that we won't get burned up because we're in this together. So I just wanted to give you a very heartfelt Thanksgiving message of gratitude. I don't believe I need one day to do it, but there is an emphasis here, of course. And so now I'll pause for a second and just honor you and let you know that Sunday, Mercury will officially go direct. Yay. I know many of you have been waiting. That's the 29th. Many of you have been waiting. And this Mercury retrograde has certainly been an interesting one for many of us when it comes to transportation, information, delays with, I know personally, one of my kids had a delay with the house being sold and having to negotiate. I mean, there's all kinds of stories. I had some car stuff that showed up. I know some of you who've shared also had some car stuff. I have a computer that is decided to stop working. Oh yeah, it's been a fun one, but it's also been very eye-opening and very deep here with Mercury in Scorpio. And when it goes direct, we should feel like there's a deep exhale happening after being in this introspective, recalibrating, rejuvenating. Maybe there's been a few plot twists that have shown up. But I ultimately believe that Mercury retrogrades, as they happen every 3 to 4 times a year, that they're here really to allow us not just to pause, but also to remind us of the tools that we have been gathering. We need the training ground. We need a place to practice them. How do we show up for it when we're missing our loved ones? How do we show up for it when we have this longing deep inside of ourselves and it's not fulfilled? And it feels like a hole. It feels like we've been gut punched, you know? How do we ask for that help? How do we learn to trust each other when trust has been broken so many times over and over and over again, right? So how do we trust ourselves when we've made judgment calls and decisions that just didn't work out? How do we say, oh my gosh, I trusted it and I thought it would happen? How do we continue to move forward? Well, we take the example of the planet Mercury as it stations direct and it starts to move forward again. we start to get clarity, we start to get the movement, we start to get the hope again, especially with the sun in Sagittarius. I didn't mention this in my last video, but the sun in Sagittarius gives a lightness to it because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which, yes, there's a shadow side to everything, but overall, the energy of Jupiter is light and it's fun and it's jovial and it's expansive and it's hopeful and it's adventurous. All these things that allow us to feel like we can keep going, right? Gives us this new energy. And so the other thing about Sagittarius, not only will we have the sun, we do have the sun in Sagittarius right now, which I have to give a shout out to my Sages because I have several in my family. My mom is a Sag, my daughter is a Sag, my daughter-in-law is a Sag, and now my new grandson, number 2, he's coming any day now. And so he'll be a Sag. And I've had many other experiences with Sages, and I just want you to know how much I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for you and excited about the Sagittarius nature and the Sagittarius season. Now, as I mentioned, another Sagittarius energy is Venus. Venus is going to move into Sagittarius. So when Venus moves into Sagittarius, we think of things like love and relationships and connections, desires, how we give and receive affection, right? And so this has a wild-hearted flavor. Anyone who knows of a Venus in Sagittarius individual has a lot of adventure in them. It's the energy of the seeker, the wanderer, the philosopher lover, someone who wants to experience life to its fullness, right? And so Venus in Sagittarius says, I want to fall in love with the world again. I want to fall in love with all the possibilities. Now, of course, the downside is that we do have a tendency to put little blinders on and say, I love the possibility of what you're showing me. Vet it out, take your time. They've got to prove it over time. You want to rebuild trust? This is the way to do it. Take your time, test it, okay? But some other things with Venus and Sagittarius, and that happens on the 5th, is that our love has a tendency to grow, to stretch. We're exploring it. Commitment's possible when you have Venus in Sagittarius, but it's not the kind of commitment that feels suffocating, which is lovely. It's devotion through freedom. And if many of you have heard the phrase and know this, is if you love somebody, let them go. If it's meant to be, they'll come back. For me, that phrase is okay, but really it's about being in a healthy relationship that says, you do you, I do me, we come together when we can, we celebrate each other, we have some fun, that sort of thing. I'll use the example of skiing because many of you know I love to ski, and my beloved and I met skiing, and he, of course, is addicted to it, I should say. And we have this conversation very often. He's like, I'm going to pick skiing over most anything else, that sort of thing. And I said, absolutely, go. So I celebrate that. Do your thing. I want you to be happy, and then come back and share it with me. Some of us have jobs that we have to work. He does too, but anyways, I joke him. He's a school teacher, so he does get a few extra days off that I don't get. But anyways, it's just a lot of fun. But that is a Venus and Sagittarius kind of energy of like, yeah, you're free to do you, and then come back and celebrate it. And if it lines up, great. But Sagittarius also doesn't sugarcoat. So this is going to be a time of truth-telling connection. So if you don't like something about someone or the relationship or whatever, there's probably going to be quite a bit of honesty and candid conversations, but there's a lot of humor as well. There's playfulness, there's lightness to it. A lot of this energy is where love is like a quest. I'm out on an adventure, right? We're drawn to people who may expand our worldview. Relationships is more like a journey, not a destination. That's why I say take your time. That's great. If you've met someone recently, if you're single and you met someone recently during the retrograde, be prepared for things to come out that you may or may not be shocked about, or you may or may not have thought about with this individual. Not saying the relationship is doomed. I know a lot of people who have met someone during a retrograding planet time, and it's perfectly fine. Now, that's not to say that down the road they find out some things and they're just like, can I accept this? Is this okay? Can I approve? Whatever. Is this something I can do? So you may have, it may show up and you question it, but be prepared. There's a lot of truth that continues to reveal itself. Now, I will say the shadow side of Venus and Sagittarius, because every side, every planet, every sign has a shadow. There could be some restlessness in the relationships. So be careful if you've got a wandering eye. Come back to, is this true? And please, whatever you do, if for some reason you're like, this just isn't working for me, I gotta go, then be honest. And you know, Venus and Sagittarius is going to help with that. Be honest. Let the other person know. I always say, I'm not going to be upset with the messenger. I may not like the message, but I won't be upset with the messenger. So be careful about making promises in the heat of like enthusiasm, but there's no real groundedness to it. And then also I mentioned the abruptness or the truth telling that Sagittarius energy has. Sometimes that's hurtful. Remember, our words can harm or heal. So be very careful about how you deliver that information. But ways to work with this Venus and Sagittarius energy: seek experiences that expand your heart, your worldview, open-mindedness. We're looking for ways that we can open our perspective. Remember that reframing and perspective creates our reality. Be open to new connections or new forms of relating. Practice those courageous conversations. Be generous, though, please. Reconnect with your sense of spiritual purpose and love. And of course, add some adventure and spontaneity. Say yes to that fire. Sagittarius is a fire energy. Say yes to the inspiration and the things that allow you to feel most alive. So, all right, you guys, again, thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you for all that you offer to me, to the world, to your family. I know this holiday season that is upon us can be hard, especially when we're missing our loved ones in physical form. And maybe we're feeling alone. Maybe we're feeling that we don't have much to give. Well, be open to receive, and please know that you don't have to be alone. I can't bring somebody back to life. We cannot do that, but what we can do is we can honor their memory. We can be with others who can also honor their memory. And maybe there's another layer of grief that we can walk through together. So just remember, you don't have to grieve alone. You don't have to be alone. I'm here. Come find me at jamiedawn.com. Once you listen, I look forward to connecting with you every single time. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.